In the Marvel Universe, there are real supernatural vampires. Blade's entire life is built around it. But Morbius isn't actually a typical vampire. He doesn't come from mystical origins, like Dracula. Morbius ends up a pseudo-vampire because of his experiments on vampire bats, which he was only messing around with because he was dying. Now the question is, Nerdgasm, what's the difference? I'm so glad you asked me that question. Because Morbius turned himself into a vampire using science, his powers and weaknesses are all over the place. Morbius does have a bloodthirst like normal vampires. It gets him into enough trouble to label him as a villain. And he has a crazy weakness to sunlight. Except unlike normal vampires, it won't kill him, it just hurts a lot. It stings. His skin is very pale after having been turned into a pseudo-vampire. Then you have his other weaknesses. He doesn't really have any. No garlic, no silver, no crosses. Other than the super sunburn that this guy would get if you actually get him into the sun, you're gonna need to be hella strong to fight this guy. Or you could just be really fast and run away. Morbius also can't shapeshift like normal vampires. But still, he does have hypnotism powers and can sort of turn other people into vampires. He's only done it a couple of times. And in the huge instances, he turned Nate Gray into a vampire, and that was really only because Nate's own psionic powers were betraying him. And, fun fact, when he bit Blade, he turned Blade into a Daywalker. But he did give him uncontrollable thirst, so you know, give and take. Because Morbius isn't like other vampires, he has control over himself. And with that control, he is constantly trying to find a cure for himself, and that does not work. It doesn't work. It's never worked. He is still a vampire. So far, the best he's been able to do towards curing himself is just making his hunger a lot less bloodthirsty. And he can only do that if he has samples of Spider-Man's blood, because Spider-Man's blood is radiated. Honestly, all his own experiments to try and cure himself have only made it worse. He has mutated himself so many times that he is lucky he can even get back to base Morbius. At one point, he grew giant bat wings. His uncontrollable bloodthirst got to the point where he was just blacking out and killing people, and then someone had to show up and try to help him. On most days, Morbius does actually try to do good. He is not a villain, even though he has a lot of villain problems. And at one point, he actually worked at Horizon Labs. Also, it seems like the only people that hate Morbius more than Morbius is Dracula and the other vampires. Mostly because he doesn't have all their weaknesses, and it really pisses them off. And on numerous occasions, he has been kidnapped and experimented on by Dracula, but those are usually very short-lived experiences. Let me know what you guys think about Morbius being a pseudo-vampire in the comment section down below. Because to me, it kind of seems like Morbius walked out in the positive. He could be a mind slave to Dracula, I'm just saying, it could be worse. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.